full drawing. I had charcoal in my hands and I was like playing the
Wow,
piano on
wow.
paper, and I was doing it in my cousin's place, and they would come back and they're like, Ryan, what are you doing? You know?
University education is so important. I'm totally for university education. And that is not necessarily to get a job.
So basically, moving to Edinburgh was completely new. I didn't know anything about Scotland, about the UK itself. It's a place I'd never been barely before. I've only been to London and that. So I'd say Dubai has that very modern, very futuristic city. It's a very fun place to be. But then especially when you grow up here your whole life, I feel like after a certain time, I mean, with any place where you grow up, it's going to get boring
Sure,
regardless.
sure.
So when I went to Edinburgh, it's complete stark difference. Like you'll be the luckiest person alive to see like a tall building that's maybe bigger than like 10 meters.
Is there a lot of software in architecture? How do you make your imagination real?
Abandon your views in architecture. Don't look at anything. Make sure your mind's blank. So I was able to produce this one piece where I combine my love for music and classical music and architectural drawings, combine it together and make one beautiful diagram that I was really happy with, and I thought it was one of my favorite drawings ever.
Fantastic. I want you to understand it's your world you're living in. And you can
That's
make
right.
whatever you want out of it.
I would want to like hopefully make a architecture firm. I'm thinking that, all this sort of studying in university will help me get to a business and
Ryan Daniels, welcome to the MoHOPE podcast. As a current student studying architecture at the University of Edinburgh, and my student from your teenage days, your MIP IB days, tell us about studying at Edinburgh. It's a university that's centuries old, and you jumped to a new place. Tell us your story, Ryan.
yes, sir. So basically moving to Edinburgh was completely new. I didn't know anything about Scotland, about the UK itself. It's a place I'd never been barely before. I've only been to London and that. So going to Scotland was a entirely new
You
experience.
grew up
And
in Dubai, right?
yeah, my whole life was in Dubai. So,
Mhm.
that UK sort of environment is completely different. And initially, I applied to UCL as my firm decision, but certain things happen and grades and stuff, so I missed it slightly. But I think
You
fate kind
applied
of
to which one? You said UCLA
UCL in London,
in
University
London
College of
itself.
London.
Okay.
So that's ranked as the
University
best.
College London. Now I understand. But
Yes.
Edinburgh is also beautiful. I
Yeah, yeah.
want you, Ryan, to look ahead. I think as my student and as part of the next generation, I want our journey together because in our conversation, we can go many directions. Yeah. I
Yes.
want to take the direction of the future and what you can do to make
Okay.
the future you want, because like I was telling you in your teenage days, and like I tell my students, you can do it, you are empowered. So
Yes.
tell us about your experience in studying in the university. You studied 1 year now, Ryan, in Edinburgh.
Yeah, so I just finished my first year, and
How was it?
studying there is honestly the best experience I've had. I've met tons of nice people. Edinburgh itself is such a uh, national and diverse place that it's not just local Scotlanders there. You've got all types of different nationalities and people and faces, and it's just like such a fresh breath. I mean,
So
and
is University of Edinburgh in a campus, or is it in
um,
the city?
the whole city is the university itself. So you've got
Awesome,
campuses
awesome.
all over so you could be finishing a class and then you'd have to walk across Edinburgh in 10 minutes to make it to your next class and you have to somehow do it. But the good thing about Edinburgh is that it's got this bus transport which is completely free for students. So it's
Okay.
completely accessible and you don't usually struggle with making it anywhere. There's many different options, but bus travel for students is like the best thing ever. So never thought that was
Tell
a
us
problem.
about that street, that street that J.K. Rowling sat and wrote Harry Potter, getting inspired by streets of Edinburgh.
Yeah, the infamous street is called Diagon Alley. Very
Okay.
touristy place, and it's a very beautiful road. Um, so I've been down it a couple of times. with my friends, and it's a very lovely place to walk down. I'm not sure about the exact connection to J.K. Rowling's inspirations
No,
and
but
stuff.
there's a fort there also. No, I went there with my family a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and my cousins at Inverness in the Highlands of Scotland
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
took us around Edinburgh. And there's a fort also, right? Is that also some way connected to the university?
That could be right. I'm not exactly sure because
Yeah, let
I
it
have
pass.
not.
Let it pass. But
Yeah.
tell us about classes. You have are there all amphitheaters in different parts of the city? Where do the classes happen?
So the lectures happen, I mean, every student is different. So for me as an
Okay.
architecture student, I have three, four certain places I go to mainly. But then
Okay.
every student doing a different course has different lecture theaters and uh, workshops that they have to go to, and all scattered everywhere. So we all are kind of seeing different parts of Edinburgh, and then when you make friends, you're able to see those parts that you would not normally go to. So it's a very interesting
So
place.
true. So true. Tell us about that. Tell us about a friend you met who took you into a different world, introducing you to new cultures or perspectives.
Um, I mean, I guess the main thing I could say is I met my best friend there. I think a friend I think I'm going to be chatting to him the rest of my life. But for him, for me, he kind of, he's a local there. He was doing architecture alongside me. So when I met him for the first time, I didn't really know Edinburgh. I didn't really know where the places were. Everything was unknown to me, and I didn't know where I was going. But he kind of knew all the places. He's been here for years, and he showed me the north side, the south side, and showed me everything really, and how Edinburgh is such
Tell
a,
us about the north side, south side. What's the difference between the north and south of Edinburgh?
I'd say the north side kind of is a more central area. So there's basically a main street. It's called Princess Street. That's where you got all your big brands, your big shops, your very touristy area. That
Is
is,
that in the north or the south?
it's in the kind of subtle north, not too north, but it's basically some center there. That's where,
Central there. Okay.
yeah, kind of central northish. That's where everything happens. But then when you go further up north and further south, it's mainly just rural. Not many things are happening. So it's very country. But when you get to the center of Edinburgh, there's a lot of bustling people and shops and everything. So it's a lovely
Is it a
city.
safe city? Is it a safe city?
Completely, completely. I would honestly, I'd say it's as safe as maybe even a city like Dubai. Uh,
Wow, that's fantastic. It's good to be in a safe city.
yeah, yeah,
You can
absolutely.
really enjoy the vibrance and neo culture, if I can call it that, because Edinburgh has so much history, and your university is almost 500 years old, like 5 centuries old.
Oh
So,
yeah.
with all that history to bring it forth to today and the future, I'd really like to know more. Like compare this to Dubai. Like you grew up in Dubai, and Dubai has the Burj Khalifa. Everything is super
Yeah.
new. Yeah, and going and studying in Edinburgh. Tell us some good things about Dubai and some good things about Edinburgh in comparison.
So I mean, growing up in Dubai my whole life, I grew up in downtown itself. So I wake up to the Burj Khalifa, I sleep to the Burj Khalifa. So like kind of used to
Awesome,
those
awesome.
tall buildings and very, driving lifestyle, the big skyscrapers and city
Correct,
landscapes and
correct.
very expensive buildings. Edinburgh is like
I have, I have,
the
I have rain in the background. This is from
yeah.
South India in the
All right.
monsoons, but Dubai, the concrete jungle. So true. Please go on.
Yeah, so I'd say Dubai has that very modern, very futuristic city. It's a very fun place to be. But then especially when you grow up here your whole life, I feel like after a certain time, I mean, with any place where you grow up, it's going to get boring
Sure,
regardless.
sure.
So when I went to Edinburgh, it's complete stark difference. Like there's no like you'll be the luckiest person alive to see like a tall building that's maybe bigger than like 10 meters. Like every
I
place
think they
there.
have city regulations. in many of these
Yeah, yeah,
cities, you're not allowed to build buildings
yeah,
higher
yeah.
than
That's
certain
not,
floors or something.
that's a good thing though, because I like the very sort of rural area, and the roads aren't. I don't think so. The roads are built for cars either, because it's very narrow,
Walking.
very old. It's a walking city. If you try to take
True,
your car, I've
true,
not
true.
seen a singular petrol bunk or gas station anywhere in the central city. So I don't know
I
how
know what you
people
mean.
manage the cars, where they park and stuff. So I'm not trying to take that chance in driving, but the public transport, the walking, the natural air, all that kind of makes Edinburgh such a stark difference to Dubai, and I love it so much. So it's a very
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us about your course, your architecture course. Are there sections of the course that talk about regulations like we just talked about, like buildings you can't build above certain floors? Is that a module or something in your architecture course?
My architecture course is kind of more broad for every type of architecture, so they don't, and they've taught us about UK buildings and stuff, but they tell us all types of building architectures, different archetypes and cities and how they are planned differently. Edinburgh itself, I mean, they've told us how buildings are made here, but not directly if there's a sort of city rule or law that applies that
So
buildings
I'm
can be
sure you learn about it
there's
soon.
definitely
How
later.
long is the course? 4 years, no? 20,
4 years.
29 years when
Yes.
is scheduled to get graduate.
Yeah.
So is there a lot of software in architecture? How do you make your imagination real?
There's tons of ways. Softwares is like my favorite thing. The only
Okay.
thing that I have with the biggest gripe I have with the course is that this entire first year was mainly hand drawings and very sort of tedious uh sort of physical work where they don't allow us to use laptops or iPads
Okay.
or computer softwares, nothing. So you're supposed to just take a paper and a pen and then produce
Awesome.
everything.
Awesome. Use your
So
hands like
yes, yeah.
artists.
And I understand why you need it, but because I've been to many different architecture firms for internships. As we speak, I'm currently in one, Atkins Realis. It's a very big company here. They're responsible for many different buildings across Dubai and Saudi. So it's a very high top company. I'm currently working with them, and the one thing I've seen is that physical drawings are very unnoticeable, barely there. The main people are sort of discussing with clients and going back and forth using CAD softwares. And even the clients itself are using CAD software. So it's a very good thing because I'm very physically gifted with CAD softwares and stuff. So I've kind of grown up
Cool.
to use that mainly. So I'm very excited to use them more. Currently, though, I've been trained more to use hand physical drawings and
No,
stuff. So,
it's like activating a part of your mind that was dormant, Ryan.
yeah,
Like there was a
it is.
time I'm a right-hander, but I
Yeah,
tried writing in my left hand to make the other side of my brain active consciously. This is just like for you. You're so good at CAD already, and using
right.
your hands to be the architecture
Yes,
artist just activates a
yes,
new side of you. I think it's a
that's
good
right.
thing.
Yeah,
So you use CAD in the second year, third year in Edinburgh. How does it
yes,
work?
yeah. Yeah, second year onwards, it's going to be more proficient with any sort of software, anything you want to use and make the results. That's basically how it works, but it's unknown. Not exactly sure, and I'm ready to attack
Sure,
it.
sure.
Yeah.
So tell us about the course in University of Edinburgh. Is there going to be like a few weeks exchange program with some other university? I remember when I was at Chapel Hill, we had a global immersion elective where we went to Dubai and Athens to see real estate there. So do you have
Right.
some exchange program or something like that? Tell us about that.
We do have an exchange program, I think around third year.
Third
So
year.
we get to, depending on our grades and situation and stuff, certain students are able to do abroad for a half year, like 1 semester or 2 semesters.
Okay.
So depending on what you want to do, really, you can go
Which
work
part of the
in
world? Which part of the
Europe.
world?
It's Europe.
Europe, is
So
it? Europe.
there's 6 countries, I think: Italy, Germany, Spain.
Yeah,
Um,
we have some wonderful architecture in Spain as well, even Italy. Go on, go on. So you
yeah.
have the option of exchange in third year from with these. sister universities probably.
Yeah, so six universities there. I'm not exactly sure their names, but yeah, six universities we get to choose from, and it's
Cool.
gonna be a great
So
experience.
Ryan, tell us about some of our work together online. Yeah, and I call my work creative math, the MYP IBDP work, creative math class. But
Yeah,
in my experience teaching online, I try to create the environment where it's okay to be wrong. That's how
yeah,
you
yeah.
our
That's right.
original self comes out. So, can you tell us a little bit about that and our work together?
So, so you're a great teacher, honestly. I can tell you that because I think, yeah, you were the first teacher I did when I started the HL course, or exactly
Online. We were
remember,
doing
but
online,
yeah, we're
even
doing online.
MIP, even before you went to IBDP, we did some
Right.
work online. And those days were group classes. I had some of your friends also who
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy to have been part of all of your growing up experience. But the key, Ryan, I want to focus on like one of my other students was also saying something about my classes. And besides the actual content, because that's also important, the absorbing the content and the skills,
Yeah.
the environment. Like even in Edinburgh, I'm sure a good teacher will bring out of you your true self,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us about something in Edinburgh about a teacher-student experience.
Um, certain teachers they're great. I think the teachers are all very similar. Their teaching aspects are great and they do what needs to be
You like
done.
sitting in classrooms? I remember during my undergrad, I used to run out of the class all the time because I couldn't sit in the class for too long.
No,
Are
no.
you comfortable sitting in a class for like 45 minutes, two, three
Yeah, yeah.
times a day, three, four times a
No,
day?
no. I do what I need. Like I have to do it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You've
Yeah.
always been a good student. Like I was saying, you're composed and crisp, man, Ryan. Awesome, awesome. So let's go ahead now. Like you grew up in Dubai and uh, Edinburgh, and you have ethnic roots in India, right? In South
Yeah.
India.
Yes. Yeah. Kerala. Yeah.
And
I'm born and from there. Yeah.
correct, correct. My mom's also from that side.
Right.
Tell us
Yeah.
about the future, Ryan. Tell us about the future. So you're studying in Edinburgh and you have 3 more years of university.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that people who care for you, your family, me included, want you
Yeah.
to, get married, have a family, be a successful man, and do everything good for you and your family in your life. But besides that, I want to ask you about what matters, right? Like obviously family, friends, love, wealth, all that matter. But
That's true. Yeah.
like Elon Musk says, you want to wake up in the morning feeling excited, like you're going to do this. So tell us something that matters to you. What are you passionate about? Go ahead.
Um, I'd say hobbies, building certain things that build like sort of strike that dopamine in your brain that sort of
Sure.
give you that
Tell us
expression.
about a passion project. Tell us about a passion project.
Oh, there's a certain project I did prior to university in school. I did a summer school in the UCL itself, the Bartlett. So I was very excited to go there. It's the best architecture school in the world. And throughout that
Which one is
internship,
this? Which one is this, Ryan?
the UCL,
Oh,
the
UCL
summer school.
in
So I did
London.
that. Yeah, I did that in 2023. And the best thing I did there was the final project where I was kind of stunned because the 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 instructors there told me kind of abandon your views in architecture. Don't look at anything. Make sure your mind's blank and make something that sort of you're in love with or you are connected to. And when I did that, I sort of thought of bringing music and diagrams and architectural views together. So I was able to produce this one piece where I combine my love for music and classical music and architectural drawings, combine it together and make one beautiful diagram that I was really happy with. And that was one of my favorite drawings ever. I know the people
So,
who start, yeah, go ahead, sir.
did you make it on CAD or did you draw it
No,
in
no,
hand?
no. Full drawing. I had charcoal in my hands and I was like playing the
Wow,
piano on
wow,
paper. And I was doing it in my cousin's place and they would come back and they're like, Ryan, what are you doing? And I was like,
wow, wow. How long
don't
did it
worry.
take for you to do that?
I think around a weekish. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it was
So
very
what you
exciting.
got, the final piece, was it like a sculpture or was it like a diagram?
No, no, it was a huge giant like paper the size of a huge wall. And I had
Wow,
two of
wow.
those.
Wow.
And so
Superb.
I was very happy with it. And then we had to display it and show to all the other students. I know no one really understood mine because nobody came on that side. But the
You have to
instructors, though,
explain it, Nolan. That's how
yeah, yeah,
great artists sell their work for millions of dollars. The
yeah,
story,
yeah, yeah.
no?
So when I finally explained it to the instructors, then they were like, "Oh, wow, that makes sense now." And I was like, "I see. This is the sort of
So, so,
satisfaction
so
I get."
tell us poetically. I know the diagram is not with us, but tell us
Yeah.
something about you describing your work that could resonate with our audience and me.
Um, if anyone's really a fan of music, fan of classical music, playing the piano, the way you hit the keys, that piece kind of displays that. So you see really the movement of a piano, but through a paper. So it's a very interesting thing. And I feel like any sort of person who has any interest in music and any knowledge in music and music sheets and all that kind of stuff and notes and things, when you see the piece, you will understand what it is. So it's a very sort of
You play the
interpretive.
piano?
Yeah, yes, I've been playing the piano since 2013, so 13 years. I've been,
Awesome.
yeah, I've grown up playing classical piano my whole life, basically. Initially, that
Awesome.
was
Awesome.
initially that was like my mom kind of just forced me. I didn't really want to do it. I thought, what was the point of the instrument? Really, like, is this going to help anyone? After a few years, though, since you're a child, you just want to like do whatever and kind of just not focus on things that matter. Then around like 2019, I was like, okay, now I'm getting to a higher level. The music is getting more interesting.
Awesome. Got to thank your mom.
At it. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Good one. Good one. So looks like you're quite accomplished with the piano and you can see the tones and the
yeah,
tunes in your architecture, which your work shows at UCL. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about a project like this at Edinburgh. Have you got a chance to uh, include music into architecture in Edinburgh?
Unfortunately, not yet
Not yet.
because I
Not yet.
think I think they've mainly
But what's
focused.
the music scene in Edinburgh? Is there a lot of live music, indigenous music, indie work?
There's a lot of these. If you know the bagpipe, there's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
lot of people that's on the street every single day. You might wake up and you hear the bagpipe in the morning, and like,
Yeah,
that's
Scotland.
the beautiful. Yeah, Scotland
Awesome,
theme song.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So, have you? Is it an interest for you to play other instruments too, or is it piano is what you want to master?
I I learned the guitar for like a year, but that didn't
Okay,
resonate with me that much. I thought it was interesting, definitely because I had the background in piano. The guitar was
correct.
very
I was
suited.
wondering if you would want to learn the bagpiper and become like a true local, like your best friend.
I
Yeah.
don't know, sir. The bagpipe seems a bit too complicated, but
Is
maybe
it?
for
Is
fun.
it difficult to play?
I mean, from what I can see, there's like, I don't know, it's like playing the flute and you have to control your breath and stuff. It's completely different. But hey, if someone gives me a bagpipe, I might just, try it a little. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the whole thing, no? Being put in the environment and having the opportunity to do things. So
absolutely.
this the Moho podcast. Uh, the overarching idea is peace on Earth, humanity on Mars,
Right.
and how I'd like to live that day by day is getting along and striving for greatness. Because when we get along, there is peace on Earth, And when we
Yeah.
strive for greatness, we want to be amongst the stars. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is like the overarching vision of my work, Ryan. I would encourage you to not just be part of it, but have your own way forward for you. Yeah. And I'm coming circling back to asking you what matters. You said hobbies, and it came to music and architecture, which is
Yes.
really beautiful. Okay, so tell us something more like that. What else matters? What are you passionate about? And
Um, I'd also say just, going out in the world, traveling is another a huge hobby of mine that I've really discovered now. I thought traveling was a bit silly early on because, I live in Dubai. My dad kind of ingrained in me that Dubai is the most perfect place on earth. You don't have to go anywhere. So it's
it is in
like,
a way, but we
yeah,
want to venture out as well,
yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, now I've traveled. I finally went to Europe for the first time, to France and Italy, and that was like wonderful. I went to France myself just to meet a friend there, and it was
Super.
very lovely. And I saw so many places and
French
so,
cafes are fantastic.
oh yeah, absolutely,
Do
absolutely
you know
eating.
French? Do you know French?
Uh, I learned French in school. That's all gone
Oh,
out
you
the
can
window.
get by. But can you converse?
I don't want to test it, sir.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, no,
been a
no.
long.
I
I'm
was
not.
just curious because the French like to speak in French even though they know English, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, traveling is definitely a big hobby of mine now. I want to do that a little bit more.
Have you
Definitely.
traveled across India?
I've not. I've only been sort of in through India with my parents, so mm, I don't know. I've barely been to the north side. I've only been to Delhi and
No,
Jaipur.
worth exploring, worth exploring.
Yeah,
Agra, Delhi, Rajasthan, Jaipur, Ajmer, Pushkar. These are
yeah,
these are places where ideally you would go either in a group or with someone or even alone, you know. It
yeah.
depends on your level of motivation. And I would encourage you if you want a reason to go travel, just document it, you know, like blogs and pictures. It gives a reason to do the whole 9 yards.
So I also just wanted to ask, like, if I am thinking of doing India trips, is like knowing Hindi and all that. I mean, I know it's probably important, but can I get by just
Yes,
English?
yes, definitely. But in North India, if you know a little Hindi, they'll treat you like
Yeah,
one of them, you know. They'll give you
that's
the
true.
best chai you can get, yeah.
Yeah.
But India is tourist friendly, Ryan. I know that even though
Yeah.
you're Indian, you like many of my students who grew up in Dubai
Yes.
don't uh, have a culture shock when they come to India. I had a good friend
Yeah.
who grew up in Russell Khaimah, and when he
Right.
came for some of his education in South India, he had a culture shock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
there are various ways of dealing with it, but I'll connect you to the right people if you want to travel to India. We'll connect offline, and I'll guide you to the right places when you have the right motivation. But I want for you to travel because, like you were saying, traveling is not just a passion; it's just such an enriching experience, you know.
Absolutely.
And even though India is a developing nation, there are some jewels that are worth experiencing from the homeland.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So tell me about space exploration, Ryan. So on earlier on this podcast, I'd interviewed even people from India's number one private space exploration company and other experts in automation.
Yeah.
And I want you, as the next generation, to be in tune, right, with the idea that hopefully, as a species, humankind will go to the moon and Mars in your
Right.
lifetime. Yeah. So just tell me about what you think of that. Do you talk to your friends about that? What do your friends think, the next generations, about these prospects? Go ahead.
So space exploration, like kind of my entire views of that have been crafted by the movies. So all that sort of, the planet's gonna
Have been
get
crafted by?
The movies like
The
Hollywood,
movie, sure,
all that.
sure.
So, the planet's gonna go extinct and all that kind of is looming in my mind. And like my dad always says he's very interested in sci-fi, so that he's always thinking of a plan B. What happens, if something goes wrong in this plan, what is that sort of countermeasure? But yeah, I think humans definitely will make it to space one day, and we do need to see what's out there. Do I believe in aliens? Not really, but I mean, until we see proof, then yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
see. No, like the composed man you are, you gave the exact right answer. So it's a tick for you. But I like to think a little more esoteric, wild, and instead of thinking of extinction, I'd like to think of just peace on Earth and humanity on Mars. Not going to Mars because Earth is not going to survive, but making
right?
another home.
Yeah,
But your answer is perfectly right. I think with people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk working towards humans becoming a spacefaring civilization,
yeah,
you and I can do our part. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so Ryan, another 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but uh,
But
yeah, the most beautiful thing I've heard from you today is the music and the architecture merging together for you to make something beautiful in a university competition that you mentioned, and
right,
your passion for traveling. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So now one more in your what matters to you and how you see the world and your place in the world. And we'll talk a little bit about that and we'll wrap up for today. Go ahead.
My place in my world. I've honestly have barely thought about this, but I'd say like right now, mainly just thinking of like where university is gonna get me, how my architecture course is gonna go. As we know, I mean, architecture is not the most money intensive job, and like a lot of issues are there with job opportunities and things. So I'm, slightly worried about where this is gonna go because I have to work a
I
lot of
want to
time.
bring your attention,
Yeah.
Ryan, to you saying your place in your world, which is
Oh,
fantastic. I want you to understand it's your world you're living in, and you can
that's
make
right.
whatever you want out of it. It's so beautiful. Instinctively, Ryan, you just said, my place in my world. Those were your exact words. When you understand it's your world, you create a job if you want, right?
That's true.
For
That's
yourself or for other people, carve your niche. Yep. And when the time is right, you will get the answers. Go with that faith. Because I was telling someone earlier today, one of my younger students, that university education is so important. I'm totally for
true.
university education,
Right.
and that is not necessarily to get a job. It's not necessarily to make you employable. It is to find yourself, like how you're discovering Edinburgh through people, and how you're seeing good things about Dubai and Edinburgh, even though they're so different, and you're traveling. So I'm confident that you can create your world, Ryan, and that's
Absolutely.
the drive I want you to have. Your comments on that, and then we can wrap up.
Then honestly, I want to like hopefully make a architecture firm. I'm thinking that, you know, all this sort of studying in university will help me get to a business and, maybe get as big as
But
Atkins.
where do you want to build buildings in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or Edinburgh, London, or some other place?
I'm definitely Dubai. I mean,
Dubai.
I feel like the buildings here and the architecture here is definitely just the best I've seen, and it's a very
Super,
modern,
super.
upcoming
Really
city. So
beautiful. The concrete jungles are really beautiful
yeah, yeah. I love
downtown.
the
And
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about that. About maybe we can crystallize your vision a little bit. So, an
Yeah.
architecture firm in Dubai, what kind of building would you want to build? You want to build a high rise or some other new concept in Dubai, take over some of the deserts and build an expansive
Um, I mean, yeah, I love to work on lofty projects like that, definitely like expanding the city. I feel like Dubai is kind of concentrated towards the coast. There is a whole desert that we're not utilizing and the connections between the Emirates. So definitely there's work to be done there. And maybe even go global. Try and build. I'm definitely thinking skyscrapers, definitely thinking hotels. Those are definitely things I want to attack and try to build and hopefully get my name out there. Uh,
absolutely right. It'll happen. Yeah. I'm here to help you on your way. So one way to do
right.
that is think of one specific building, Ryan. Okay, now instead of putting your energies into hotels, desert resorts, whatnot, you can
Yeah.
do that also, but something to crystallize, materialize, manifest. Think of one building, okay, or one desert project or one hotel that you can fuel thoughts into, fuel energy into so it goes forward. Maybe as a project in your Edinburgh education or something you want to build in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or one of the other Emirates after you come back and build your firm. But envision that building, okay? Think of how you will build it, and now you have 1 year using your hands. You've using become a real artist in the Edinburgh sense of the word.
Yeah,
So I'm sure with your CAD, it'll only help you.
definitely. Yeah.
God bless you, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me on the
Sure.
MoHOPE podcast for this episode.
Yep. I hope your podcast goes becomes more popular, sir, and I hope you get more attention and customers and everything. Thank you for the opportunity. It was great. You got me
Thank you,
thinking about
Ryan. Peace on
different
earth,
aspects. Yep.
humanity on Mars. And you
Yes.
were saying, Ryan, what were you saying? And we will end with what you were saying.
Oh no, just thank you for, these questions. They were things I would honestly never think about. So props to you on that, sir. The questions were amazing. Thank you so much,
God
sir.
bless you, Ryan. God
Yes.
bless you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.